interloping limits, so that rider is being pushed. So I get the actual binoculars out, which I've actually remembered to bring today, and I can work out how to focus them. That looks like a Triumph. Bradley, who's on a Triumph, mate?
Oh, that's a very good question there. Oh, no,
it's kind of street fight. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it because we've got a red light going out, mate. And away we go. Missed who was getting the jump, but everybody is safely off the line as we go up to the first corner for the first time. Big surprise, big ball of spray there. Quite a few people have got to switch their rain lights on. There's a message, got a yellow flag showing here. We're going up the hill towards Charlie's one there, mate. So somebody's not going to be making it past you in just one moment. But yeah, Karen, you might want to check those rain lights. I'm sure there's a few people who forgot to switch them on there, babe. Anyway, down the back straight we go. Can you see who's doing what to whom there? It's the number 10 machine that's had the problems there. That is Robert Bean, and he's back on track. So yeah, Robert's in the race.
Yeah, they're all coming past me now there, and I didn't quite catch who that yellow flag was for. That I can see a rider just making the way in towards Coppice now, so I do apologise if you already mentioned that one there, but it's a little bit difficult to hear you when they all come streaming past there on the opening lap. But the race leaders, look, I've got a bit of a challenge there up the inside of Chris Kerb already. Matt Weatherall, number 9, was the man who was leading when they came past me, but they are coming down from the gooseneck now, and it is a change of the race lead there. It's Tommy Downs, I believe, on that Moto 46 Yamaha R6 who is leading the way. The number 10 bike just coming past me now through the dip down Park Straight, but it is the Super Twin, the Yamaha R7 of number 17, Tommy Downs, ahead of Matt Weatherall, bike number 9. And it looked like the number 7 machine. He said it was an impressive qualifying session for Darren Taylor, and he may have dropped a few positions there. He's certainly going 3 wide in towards the second part of Charlie's here on the opening lap, but the riders all 3 safely. No yellow flags this side from what we can see here, so all good stuff on the opening lap, and they're back with you, Keith.
Certainly are, mate. They're coming under the bridge, out of the chicane, up towards the mountain section. In fact, the leaders are probably already at the hairpin there, so watching everybody else come out safely. Yep, it's all clean and green through here at the moment. Be interesting to see. Now, Matt Weatherall's a smart guy. He'll know that Tommy's not in the same race as him, but obviously you just want to beat whoever's around. And nobody's really taken the fight to Matt this year, so I think he'll appreciate the competition for a change. But as they go over the line, it is indeed Tommy Downs who leads the way by just over a second from Matt Weatherall. Third across the line. Right, that's Craig Houghton on the Super Twin, so clearly Super Twin. Well, whether Ilias Trackers has moved up to 4th place, so a great start for him. I tell you, he's done badly on the opening lap there, mate, is Dr. May. He's dropped a good 6 places there, so not good news for him. Daniel Black made up 5. Ollie Arvin, I thought the kid would do well once the green lights went out. The red lights went out even, because he's up to 5th in class, but 7th overall, because he made up 5 places there. So lots of chopping and changing as they sort themselves out. Thomas Fenton's made up a few places as well. I think that's Tom, because he's, now which one's which? Because 75, one's Fenton, that's the rookie. So that is Tom, and he's ahead of brother, I think it's his brother James on the Super Twin there. So a bit of a family rivalry there, going to the newer of the riders there, Bradley.
Yeah, they just came past me now there, and they're almost side by side, but I believe it was James just ahead of Tom that time around. Race leaders already in towards Mansfield. You mentioned that Matt Weatherall has not really had many people take the fight to him, of course not in class, but James O'Mara, who isn't here this weekend, himself and Matt had a great battle throughout the course of Donington, didn't they? Between the Super Twin and that Suzuki Thunderbike Sport Machine and Matt Weatherall, but it's pretty much as you were as they go under the bridge in towards the mountain once more. Ollie Arvin then seems to be having a few issues with the visor potentially steaming up, I'm not quite sure, but Ollie Arvin now ahead of Malvern May for the Super Twins.
I think Ollie needs to pop down the road from Hertford into the Harlow area and come and see me at the Sports Bike Shop in Harlow there. I can give him some tips about how to keep your visor perfectly clear, both inside and outside. And when it comes to the wet weather, got some great solutions for that. So pop down sometime and see us in the shop there, Ollie, and we can give you some advice there. Not a problem at all to you. So over the line we come. Tommy Downs having a look behind him, and the answer is you're going to have to look pretty hard. Actually, no, I tell you what, Matt is not giving this up. He come across the line. It's a 5th this here, 104.7 and a 105. It's about 0.2 of a second difference between Weatherall and Downs, so the gap is still 1.1 seconds. Craig Houghton doing very well indeed as well. He's holding on to a solid 3rd place there. Ilias Trackers, he's really having a good race. He's moved up to 3rd place there, ahead of Dan Black. Malvern May's made up some places now as he gets into his stride. He's up to 4th in class. fifth in class, just behind Dan Black there. He's, he's going quite a bit slower. Actually dropped a couple of seconds, but he did make up some places. Who else is that going up? Dan Mercer's made up a few places. Looks like Sean Wallace has lost a few places, so still all chopping and changing then. Nothing really seems to be settled at this stage. And we've got a black and orange flag going out to the 115 machine, the old Meatball Express to James Svensson. So
yeah, he's got his hand in the air, he spotted that one. So James Svensson, yeah, he will be putting off the circuit down Park Straight here, I suspect.
So the rain has stopped, that's the good news from here, and I can also tell you the sun has actually popped out. So hopefully we'll be seeing a dry line appear. It's not going to be the quickest thing to turn out. And of course the other problem we have here at Cadwell Park is once you disappear...
Malvern May just had the biggest moment there coming around the gooseneck there. He's managed to just about keep it on the road, but Malvern May there, that would have certainly put his heart in his mouth, Keith.
A bit of one of those kind of saves that Jordan Pickworth will be proud of, you reckon, Bradley?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Dr. May clearly giving it the beans there and trying hard, but maybe that's the wake-up call. There's the limit of the tyres. Don't try and step over that, sunshine, or I'm going to bite you big time. So, yeah, it will hopefully dry out a bit, but obviously under the trees here we get a bit of sap falling off the trees, and they do shelter the scenery. The track, I should say, very well from the sunshine, so it can take a while for it to be completely dry, and there's still an awful lot of clouds in this neighbourhood as the leaders come over the line. This time they're separated by 1.978, and fastest man on the track is still Tommy Downs at 150.649, going quicker every single lap. But I think we're going to see that today, Bradley, because I think what's going to happen is the track's going to dry out, people are going to find a bit more traction. There goes Craig Houghton. He's, no, it is Ilias Etrakis right behind Craig Houghton. I was going to say it's Tony Russo, but Tony is now dropping down the order there. Malvern May has come across the line in 7th place. Then just checking. No, I think that's just a transponder grief. There we go. That's what we like to see when somebody goes springing back onto the board there. Right, see, Ollie Arbin is 6th place at the moment. Dan Mercer continues to make up places, makes up another 3 as he goes past Wilkinson, Manson, Chubb and Harvey there. So he's definitely on the move. Hasn't quite cracked the magic 2-minute bracket yet. Came across the line there with 2 minutes, 0.604, so very close to it. That's around about 10 seconds slower than our leader. Such is the pace of Tommy Downs. Really is proving the class of the field at the moment, isn't he, Bradley?
No, you're absolutely right there. I mean, he's already around Mansfield and into the chicane there. Looks like I've got a hand up as well for one of our riders just going through the chicane now there. You'll see that in just a second, Keith, but a rider I suspect will be retiring back to the paddock. Difficult to tell from this distance who that could well be, but yeah, they'll be retiring to the paddock, so one less rider will be taking part in this race. But looking further down the order there, looks like the number 5 machine, I believe that's Logan Stone, is now ahead of Ollie Arbin, but of course that is an on-track battle as opposed to in class there. But Ollie seemingly still continuing with those issues with the visor. He had it flicked up on the exit of Charlie's, Keith. Not good.
It's never fun racing, trying to race a bike when you're getting pinged by bits of rain or even just spray. It really feels like a little bit of a bee sting on your cheeks every time. It's definitely wince material, that's for sure. As Tommy Downs comes across the line ahead of Matt Weddle, so fair play to young Ollie. Well, we've seen that over the years, of course. People have come up with all sorts of solutions to try and keep their visors clear, and even with a pinlock. The trouble is, with a pinlock visor, what you need to do is you need to keep it closed. You do not open the sucker at all. Remember, we saw that at the British Grand Prix a few years ago where people were lifting their visors on the grid. Perfectly normal thing to do. The trouble is, rain to the inside of the visor onto the pinlock, saturate it, and that's goodbye pinlock. It will steam up. They're not certainly not impossible to steam up, that's for sure. Right, only change there was Tony Russo going past on Craig Houghton, and again that was only for a track position place, not for an overall place. So Tony Russo doing a good job there, second in class, a long way behind Matt Weatherall. The first time all race, Tommy Downs didn't go any quicker, but he did a 50.8 as opposed to the 50.6 he previously has done. Though he did actually go quickest overall in Sector 1, which they've just tripped the timing beam. He's got a little bit quicker again, and also he's opened up another second actually. So I think Matt Weatherall must have had a wobble somewhere around the back there, mate, because he has dropped a long way down there. Looking at the rest of the field coming across the line, yeah, the only one we've lost so far then is the number 10 machine of Robert B. He had problems on the warm-up lap, of course, there. And James Spencer there, too. Darren Taylor, I just realised, is at the bottom of the field there, too. The number 7 machine after that great qualifying. Looks like we've lost Darren Taylor, maybe on that last lap, unfortunately. Bradley, is he anywhere in your sights?
I'll try to keep an eye on him there. Looks like number 5, that's number 5 machine of Logan Stone there. The man from Croydon's just gone wide on the gooseneck, and he's managed to just about keep it rubber side down. I'm not quite sure how he's done that on the wet grass down from the gooseneck in towards Mansfield, but you'll see him drop 1 position. Looks like we're going to have another retirement here as well, just heading under the bridge there, Keith. So you're going to have to keep an eye on the timing screen as to who that could well be retiring back to the paddock. But you're right, Darren Taylor, despite that great qualifying, he did drop right the way down towards the rear of the field in the opening handful of laps. But I'll keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, he has come across the line, actually, mate. He's nearly laps. He must have had a big wobble. And yeah, Logan Stone, you're right, mate. Very lucky man to go on the grass of the gooseneck in these conditions and keep it rubber side down, that's for sure. Not easy task to do. Here we go then. There's an update on the fastest lap because there's another half second has come off it. Most of that time was made up in the first sector because he was 4/10 seconds slower in sector 2 than his previous best. But Tommy Downs has done a 1:50.186. He's now nearly 6 seconds ahead of Matt Weatherall. So Matt is kind of getting the race he almost wished for, but he doesn't need to worry because he is 20 seconds ahead of Tony Russo. Atrakas and Houghton there having a good battle for the second place in the Super Twins there, because Atrakas went past Houghton on that particular lap. So there's what we really need to keep an eye on, because at the end of this lap, Bradley, this is critical stuff. Where they finish at the end of this lap is where the points are going to be. So that Atrakas-Houghton battle could well have a bearing on the championship, of course, because Craig needs all the points he can to close the gap on Melbourne May. Melbourne currently running 5th in the race at the moment, so that's 11 points to him as it stands at the moment. It looks like Craig is going to pick up 16, but if he can get back past Atrakas, that'll be another 4 points to his advantage. So actually that would put them level going into the second half of this race. Oh boy, it gets confusing, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right, absolutely. But I was just having a look at the machine, in fact, Ilias Atrakas. It's a new name to me. I don't know if it's one you've come across before, Keith. But it's certainly a new name to myself there. But himself and Craig Houghton having a good battle there. When they came down from the gooseneck, it was the 37 ahead of the 100. So Ilias Atrakas ahead of Craig Houghton at the moment. Just looking further down the order then, Craig Houghton just coming in front of my commentary position here on the exit of Charlie's. Tommy Downs coming past now. So this is the start of lap 7, which in effect could well be classed as almost the second leg of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. 25 points to Tommy Downs, another 25 points to Matt Weatherall. Also, it's going to be 24 Tony Russo as he comes. No, he does. It's a transponder thing, but it is Atrakas who will take the second place. So that's 20 points going to Ilias Atrakas, and then Craig Houghton, because we don't need to worry about BSB runners this weekend, because if you're a BSB runner, you won't be here, will you? You'll be a bit further south this weekend, won't you? Good news for Melbourne May, though, mate. He actually passed Dan Black on that particular lap, and that means another couple of points. So he's actually only lost 3 to Craig in the first half of that race. And let's have a quick look what the gap is, 1.978, so let's call it 2 seconds. And Melbourne went about 2 seconds quicker than Craig. So let's see if he can overcome that, and it'll go back to where it was previously. Oh boy, this is far too much maths for early on a Saturday morning, isn't it, Bradley?
I'll leave that down to you.
Sorry,
in all
it's early
honesty.
on a Saturday afternoon now. I've just looked at the clock.
Well, Logan Stone's coming in front of me now. They are quite spread out now, aren't they? So it's difficult to keep track of who is where. There's Atrakas just coming down in towards Mansfield now. He's put a gap between himself and Craig Houghton. And Craig Houghton, well, he can't quite rest on his laurels yet because Melbourne May is bearing down on him there. It'll be interesting to see their lap times this time around, Keith, between Craig Houghton and Melbourne May, because they're in towards the chicane now. You'll see Craig reappear just about now. There's Melbourne as well, just behind him. They're going under the bridge now, and that is the battle for third in the Super Twins there, isn't it?
Yep, certainly is, mate, and of course it could be critical championship stuff and talk as well, because these are the two guys who are the main protagonists in the championship. So the other thing Morgan has found in the little bit of a break we've had is that he realised that the Aprilia had been set to basically be learner legal or A2 legal or whatever it is you junior kids have to do these days. Basically, it wasn't making the full amount of horsepower. It's had a little bit of a tweak, so now he's got the horses he really should have. So this could be good for him. Came far into the pits there, so that'll be a DNF for him, unfortunately. So Downs Weatherall have been across the line, obviously. Downs going quite a bit slower on that lap, actually. 52.5, so I'm thinking a bit of a wobble there. But here come the Mini of the Super Twins. That's where the real action is. It's Atrakas, Houghton, May and Black once again. And this time, Ilias does a 52.9. And let's see, hang on a minute. 50 years. 55.5, sorry, for Houghton, and a 53.8, so 1.7 seconds quicker. So the gap, that's the battle, mate, Houghton and May. We've got to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I'm just watching them now. They do go out of sight momentarily when they go over the top of the brow there in towards Park Corner, but it's still Houghton from May. I'm trying to keep an eye on them. There they are back into my view now. So they're out of the Park Corner in towards Chris Curve now. And you said it was 1.7 across the line, was it? Sorry?
No, my mistake, mate. 0.3 across the line.
Oh, 0.3. Oh, okay, fair enough. That's let's have a look then as they come around. Chris Curve in towards the gooseneck. And yeah, Malvern's right there on him now as it dropped down from the gooseneck in towards Mansfield. And Malvern May makes up a little bit, but Craig Houghton has it covered for now.
Yeah, and I was looking at Atrakas to Houghton there. Actually, that was the gap I was looking at. And Atrakas is the quickest of the Super Twins there, a 52.9. That was a PB. That makes him quickest of these Super Twins, I think, there. But a 53.8 from Malvern, and he obviously has got the bit between his teeth. I'm sure he knows exactly what Craig's bike looks like as they come across the top there. Their work at the park bends very hard indeed, that pair of Super Twins. Kawasaki, of course, of Craig Houghton. Now, we're 8 laps into this 12-lap race, so we've got 4 laps left to go as Downs and Weatherall come across the line. And Matt Weatherall can't take the fight to Tommy Downs, but again, he doesn't need to. That's the thing. I don't think he's getting a board because there's a whole lot. There is an FWR board down there, so I'm thinking that's probably the one that might be working for Matt. But I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, showing P1, so that probably is Matt's board. Let's see, Russo Atrakas. Okay, here we go. Houghton and May separated by a quarter of a second over the line there, mate. And again, Malvern just a little bit quicker. Let's see if he can pull a move. I wonder if he's going to pull it somewhere near you very shortly.
I'll certainly keep an eye on it. Here comes number 69, Tony Russo, ahead of the 37 machine of Ilias Atrakas, the man from Swansea. Now here's that battle between the Super Twins. It is still Craig Houghton, number 100, ahead of the Aprilia, bike number 81, Malvern May. And Malvern there, not quite close enough to make use of a slipstream here. Of course, in these kind of conditions, being in the slipstream there, you get a face full of spray as well. So Malvern May just hanging back for now, but they are over the top of the brow then, down Park Straight, in towards Park Corner now, as Joe White comes past me now. Looks like we've got a bit of a three-way battle going in towards the chicane as well. But like I said earlier, they are quite spread out at this stage. Dan Mercer, number 15, just coming in front of me here now. Let's have a look at that battle for third place overall. Then it is still Tony Russo ahead of Ilias Atrakas. Craig Houghton still holding on to third in the Super Twins ahead of Malvern May. But Malvern May looking this way, looking that way, in towards Mansfield, but not quite finding the opportunity there, Keith, to make a move. But they're in towards the chicane, and you'll see them very shortly.
Another thing we might be seeing very shortly, mate, is some lapping action as well, such as the pace of Tommy Downs. He comes across the line. He's catching some of those slower back markers at a huge rate of knots. So that may well be a factor we've got yet to calculate into this particular race. With 3 laps to go, that's 3 quarters down, a quarter to go. So there still could be some more action as far as those back markers go as well, as that good little three-way battle between Davies, Beasley and Wolf goes on. Those 3 swapping places all through the race. They're having their own little scrap, and I think no, they hopefully won't get lapped. I think they're far enough ahead, but there are a few people. Ilias Atrakas comes across the line, the man from Swansea there, good Welsh name there, Ilias Atrakas. At least that's what Welsh sounds like to me anyway. There goes that Houghton May battle again, 0.3 of a second this time. Let's see, Malvern's sitting up there. You know what, he doesn't look like a man who's desperate to pass, which is I'm almost surprised about. I do wonder if in a couple of laps time, or 3 laps time when we get there, or 2 laps time when we get the hurry up flag, if Malvern will reach down, find a pair and give it his best. We're into the 49s now, 49.7 that time for Tommy Downs as he continues to lead. He's the only one there. Best lap for Matt Weatherall, who's got to be the second fastest on the track, is 1:51.5. So Atrakas, of course, not with the fastest Super Twin lap. I keep forgetting that Downs is way, way in front by 35 seconds. Such is his pace at the sharp end. Tony Russo looks like he's dropped a load of places on that lap, actually, mate. He's not tripped the timing beam, and I know there's no working transponder, but he hasn't actually come across the line because it normally updates automatically. So I wonder if there's an issue for Tony there. I'm not hearing anything on the radio, but I'm struggling to listen to it. What's happening at your end?
I was just going to say, I haven't seen Ollie Arvin for a minute there, and I was just going to ask you whereabouts he is on the timing screen, but I've got a very quick answer because he's just sent me a text message saying he's not really enjoying himself out there, so he's back in the paddock there, but
okay.
Ollie is perfectly okay back in the paddock, but yeah, it's...
Missed Ollie going in, you're right, yeah, I can see on the screen there he's disappeared. Sorry about that, Ollie. Yeah, come and see me in the shop, son, we'll sort that visor out for you, easy peasy. Right, Downs and Weatherall over the line, 10 laps down, 2 laps to go. So Tommy Downs looking good to pick up 50 points. More importantly, as far as the championship goes, it could be 50 points though for Matt Weatherall, which would be great news for him. I just realised actually Tom Svensson and Darren Taylor, they're involved in a bit of a battle for the Rookie Thunderbike Sport Championship as well. Darren's actually 12 points behind Tom coming into this round because he missed the first 2 rounds, but he's won every single race that he's been in up until this point. So this will be the first actual defeat for Darren Taylor in a straight fight. And the one who looks like he's going to pick it up is Logan Stone. Logan, who did most of the winning and looked like the championship favourite after Brands Hatch, he looks like he's going to pick up his first gold medal in quite a while if he can keep it sunny side up for another couple of laps. And there is a change for the 3rd place there, mate, in the, what do we call it, the Super Twins. It is Melvin May who has gone past on Craig Houghton that time.
I think Craig may have got that position back there. They are in a battle with a bit of a back marker here as well, so it could well be working for Craig as they go make their way around Chris Kerr then. I'll try and keep an eye on them. They're both through on the slower rider then, so Craig Houghton back up in a 3rd place in the Super Twin battle then. Ilias Iatrakis looks at the inside of the slower rider, doesn't make the move, but he's got plenty of room behind him there, so no immediate rush for him. Melvin May looking as though he's trying to make a move all the way from Louth at the inside of Craig Houghton, but not pulling it off this time, but he's right on his rear wheel once more. And we've got a slower rider coming into play for that battle as well, in towards the chicane, so that should play out interestingly.
Matt Weatherall, 133 points, is his lead in the championship at this stage, so that extra 50 points is definitely going to boost him up to 183. All right, give him it won't be a 183 gap, sorry, but it will increase the gap. But having said that, Tony Russo doing a very good job keeping him very honest there in 2nd place, so he'll actually pick up 10 points at best the way it stands at the moment. But that could, oh no, sorry, Tony Russo's dropped right down. He came across the line in 17th place, so I wonder if people are running into some sort of issues. The track still looks quite wet out here, but we are getting a bit of a dry line. Can you see any light grey track where you are, Bradley?
It looks like a little bit of a lighter grey line there. I want to say it's not so much of a dry line, but as Morgan said it earlier, it's less wet around the gooseneck. That's where Tommy Downs is now through the gooseneck and heading towards Mansfield. Is had a pretty good race so far, hasn't he, Tommy Downs there? He's not really coming under much pressure from the likes of Matt Weatherall and whatnot, but Matt Weatherall making his way around the gooseneck now then, so that is the lead of Tommy Downs. He's into the chicane.
Keep an eye on those Super Twins, mate, because Morgan May and Craig Houghton are coming past you any moment, and they've got the last lap flag now.
Absolutely, so there is a slower rider and Craig Houghton will get there first. He's in the slipstream. Is he close enough to make a move up the inside of that slower rider in towards Park Corner? Like I said earlier, they do go outside there. Melvin May just he may well be a little bit too far behind, in fact, as they go around towards the far end of the circuit, but you know better than most, Keith, that this track really does seem to be too harsh, doesn't it? Especially in these conditions with the sun starting to come out. It will dry out quicker this side than it will do your side under the trees.
Yeah, certainly will, my friend. I'm keeping an eye on things here, just waiting for the leaders to come out of Barnes toward us. Here comes the checkered flag then. Peter's got the checkered flag fluttering, and it is Tommy Downs. I haven't seen him for a little while, and wow, what a dominant performance from him. So that's all good news. Just waiting for Matt Weatherall to come and join us, which he should be doing very shortly. Somebody's coming across the line very slowly. But we're in for a bit of a change. Is Matt Weatherall trying to win it as slow as possible? No, Matt's got his hand in the air, right? So something is wrong with Matt's bike, because he's not just showboating there. He has got genuine concern for the riders behind him. He has slowed right down. He's got his hand in the air. So I think there might be a little bit of an issue, unless he knows exactly where Tony Russo is, because Tony at the moment is not going to score that many points. Oh, I'm going to have to sit down with a packet of fags and a pen a bit later and work it out, because I don't think he can't have done enough to win the championship, even if Tony doesn't score, because there's still lots of points still on the board. Anyway, Matt Weatherall does indeed win the Thunderbike Sport half of the race. Ilias Atrakis takes the Super Twin win, ahead of Craig Houghton with Melvin May behind him. So that means advantage 6 points in that particular race. No, maybe 7 points actually in that race to Craig. You see, this is where it gets very confusing, my friend, But what I do know is that Malvern will still lead the championship anyway. Dan Black finishes 5th and 7th place overall in the Super Twins instead of Dan Mercer. Good ride from Dan. That'll give him a good grid position for tomorrow. Joe White finishes 4th in the Thunderbike Sport class ahead of Harvey. Then we've got Stone, who should be across the line to take victory in the rookie section. So that's good news for Logan Stone. I'm waiting. Yep, there he goes. Trips the top.